Good morning. Happy Sunday. Getting my camera all lined up here. I got some bedhead going on. Got my water bottles. So, yeah. Happy Sunday. I hope you're having a good morning, or whatever time of day it is, wherever you are in the world. Today, I'm going to go over my ballot. 4 more items from my ballot. So my vote, my choice, my voice, just as your ballot is your vote, your choice, your voice. So this is for the official general and special election, the 3rd of November 2020 in King County, Washington State is where I'm voting at. And it's not that far away anymore. So going ahead, and all of my votes have already been counted. My ballot's already been counted. And so that's kind of exciting. So we are going to start today on the state level with, state level. And the position is insurance commissioner. Partisan office, vote for one. There's Mike Kreidler, who prefers the Democratic Party. I apologize for any mispronunciation of names. And there is Chirayu Avinash Patel, who prefers the Republican Party. So I voted for Chirayu Avinash Patel for State Insurance Commissioner. And I'll read you his statement. It's a little long, but that's good. All right, I am an autistic savant who has extensive knowledge and the many of the responsibilities of the President Reagan and President Jefferson presidencies that I will incorporate into running the OIC externally, like the Reagan administration, and internally within Washington as the Jefferson administration. OIC stands for Office of Insurance Commissioner. I am the only candidate who has incorporated specific roles for Mr. Kreidler and Mr. Welty in the Office of Insurance Commissioner. I will be the external insurance commissioner for 60% of the time. Mr. Kreidler and Mr. Welty would each be external insurance commissioner for 20% of the time if I am elected insurance commissioner. I would fill the roles of Ronald, Nancy, and Nixon, and Mr. Kreidler would be assigned the role of Carter, and Mr. Welty would be Gerald Ford. As for internally, I have found 168 honorable insurance agents, all of whom are more qualified than myself to each serve in 1-hour increments as internal insurance commissioners of Washington State. That is how the Jeffersonian movement to counterbalance and stabilize the Affordable Care Act. Additionally, I am fully willing and prepared to work with either the Trump or Biden administration. So that's very bold, being able to work with either administration. Most people are so polarized these days, they're not willing to listen to the other side. And so it's good to have someone who still has an open mind. And so that's a big one. If this is autistic in the sense of autism, I've taught people with autism, and they can be truly exceptional when given a good environment and support and belief in them. And I've had one student who came to mind, and she just really amazed with what she could do, and I didn't have expectations. I didn't really know what to expect, but she was just exceptional. And one of the things I like about working with people with disabilities is learning goes both ways. It requires growth for both people so that we can communicate. And so if this is autistic in that sense, I don't view it as something that detracts from Mr. Patel at all. And so I voted for Chirayu Avinash Patel for State Insurance Commissioner. The next ballot item is Legislative District number 32, Representative Position number 1, Partisan Office, vote for one. So there's Cindy Rue, who prefers the Democratic Party, and Shirley Sutton, who prefers the Democratic Party. So I voted for Shirley Rue. I, again, apologize for any mispronunciation of names. It's Shirley Rue. I really love her style, and each of these areas, she's very diverse and very experienced, and she has great diversity and style within each of these individual segments of the Washington State voters pamphlet for the general and special election, or general election at the state level. And so I'm going to read part of her statement, but everything, the term I'm looking for is she's very well balanced within each. So they have elected experience, other professional experience, education, community service, and statement. And each of these are well balanced within each category and as a whole. And so I found that very impressive. So here's part of her statement. I'm honored to serve as your state representative. Our legislature has much work ahead of us as we recover economically and support our workers and local businesses. My priorities are protecting education funding, ensuring the safety of our communities, safeguarding the environment, and pushing for more affordable housing. I'll continue advocating for local businesses and jobs and making Washington a better place to live, work, and raise our families. So, Cindy Rue, I voted for you because you're just an awesome human being. About it. Cindy Rue. Alright, up next is Legislative District number 32, Representative Position number 2. Partisan office, vote for 1. So there's Lauren Davis, who prefers the Democratic Party, or Tamara Smilanich, who prefers nonpartisan party. So I voted for Lauren Davis, who prefers the Democratic Party. This is Lauren Davis. And I like some of her international experience, which was at least communicated here in Ghana. I have also lived in Africa, and getting experience outside of the United States, and especially on a different continent with very different cultures and just day-to-day life, it's really great in taking perspective and being reassessing the state and conditions where one lives. So I'm going to read part of her statement. As your representative, I've successfully championed State Affordable Care Act protections, major investments in addiction treatment, landmark reforms to our criminal justice system, and medical and dental access for our low-income neighbors. When our behavioral health providers and bus drivers couldn't access masks, I ensured these essential workers were protected. My focus going forward will be preserving public health and fighting for those hurt most by COVID, folks who've lost their jobs, seniors, undocumented families, and small businesses. So, an all-around go-getter who cares about everybody. And that's, I think, good in a state representative. So I voted for Lauren Davis for representative position number 2. And on to our fourth and final ballot item for this section. It is at the state Supreme Court level. It is justice position number 3, short and full term, nonpartisan office, vote for 1. So there's Dave Larson and Raquel Montoya Lewis. So I voted for Dave Larson. And this is Dave Larson. And so he has, I really like what he's worked on and what he chooses to focus on. So I'm going to read his statement. It's a little bit longer, but that's all okay. Judge Dave Larson is our best choice for state Supreme Court justice because he will protect our civic rights and uphold the law and Constitution as written. Judge Larson has a record of fairness and impartiality, which is why he's enjoyed strong support from Democrats, Republicans, and independents over his career. During this time of growing division, we need a justice like Dave Larson. Judge Larson has been a champion for improving our courts. As the presiding judge of Federal Way, he's supported reforms to reduce domestic violence, combat drug addiction, and better serve the mentally ill. Judge Larson knows these same approaches can be used to reduce the impacts of the homelessness crisis, humanely making our communities safer. If you know Judge Larson, you know how much he cares about the people who appear in his courtroom. He's fair, compassionate, and respectful. Dave's also a great legal mind. He knows the law and state constitution. As a faculty member of the state's judicial college, he taught other judges about judicial independence. And I really love the point about how he cares about the people who appear in his courtroom and treating them with compassion and fairness. And that's everybody, no matter what side you're on. If you're an expert witness, a lawyer, or someone just sitting in the benches watching the presidings, or a juror, or the clerks, courtroom clerks, the police officers who were there. I don't know, anybody involved. I think treating everybody, not just one side, is a very sound life decision and a demonstration of a high quality individual. So I voted for Dave Larson for the justice position number 3 at the state Supreme Court level. So that's it for today. Happy Sunday. I hope you enjoy the sun on this Sunday, be it through rays shining in or up above the clouds or on the other side of the planet.